Today, we're going to track something you're probably eating every single day, and maybe you don't even realize it. We're talking about fructose, but this isn't just about sugar is bad for you. Oh no, we're going to follow its exact path through your body to uncover a hidden and, frankly, pretty powerful chain reaction that it can set off.
So let's just start with a really basic question that I think a lot of us have wondered about. Is all sugar created equal? I mean, sugar is sugar, right?
You might think so. It seems like it should be that simple. But if you could ask your body, down at the cellular level, it would give you a hard no. It has a very, very different opinion.
And to see exactly why, we're going to follow just one type of sugar, fructose, on its journey through the body. And what we're going to find is this hidden chain reaction, one with consequences that, as you'll see, ripple through your entire system. All right, so first things first. Let's talk about the stakes here. Why should we even care so much about this one particular sugar? Well, this is the fructose problem. And believe me, the stakes are incredibly high. It all kind of centers around something called metabolic syndrome. Now, this isn't just one disease. It's a whole cluster of really dangerous conditions happening at once. And here's the kicker. High fructose consumption is seen as a major driver of this syndrome, which just skyrockets your risk for heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. And we're not talking about some rare chemical here. Fructose, especially as high fructose corn syrup, is, well, it's everywhere. It's a star ingredient in so many foods we see every day. You know, the usual suspects, soft drinks, baked goods, even a ton of breakfast cereals. So how can one ingredient that's so common cause such big problems? Well, the secret lies in how your body handles it. So let's take a look inside what we'll call the body's fructose factory. This is where you'll really see why this sugar is just different. Okay, this is absolutely crucial. When you eat glucose, that's another common sugar, pretty much every cell in your body can grab it and use it for energy. The whole process is really tightly controlled by insulin. But fructose, it's a totally different story. Most of your body can't use it. So almost all of it gets mainlined straight to one place, the liver. And once it gets there, it's processed at lightning speed with basically zero regulation, no breaks. And that right there, that unregulated high-speed rush hour in the liver, that is the starting pistol. That's what kicks off the entire chain reaction we're about to break down. So now we get to see the first domino fall. This is the direct hit. It's what happens the instant that liver factory gets flooded with fructose, creating an immediate wave of harmful byproducts. When the liver gets overwhelmed like this, it starts churning out what researchers call direct dangerous factors. You can just think of these as toxic waste spilling out from that overworked factory. We're going to focus on the two biggest ones, free fatty acids and uric acid. First up, free fatty acids. The liver is so swamped with fructose that it basically does the only thing it can think to do. It starts turning all that excess sugar into fat. This fat then builds up right there, inside the liver, which leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And that fat buildup is a primary driver of what we call insulin resistance, where your body just starts tuning out insulin signals. Next up, uric acid. And this one, wow, it really shows you the chaos happening inside the liver cells. See, processing all that fructose so fast just burns through the cell's main energy source, a molecule called ATP. And when you drain the battery like that, you get a nasty waste product, uric acid. And high levels of uric acid, that creates a ton of oxidative stress, basically rusting your cells from the inside out and kicks off inflammation. But here's the thing, the damage doesn't stay locked up in the liver. That initial direct hit actually triggers a second wave, an indirect attack that spreads throughout the body. This is how a local problem turns into a full-blown systemic crisis. This second wave is made up of indirect dangerous factors. Now, these aren't made from the fructose itself. They're actually the body's emergency response to all that initial damage. We're talking about things like alarm-sounding proteins causing inflammation, toxins leaking from the gut, and hormones just going haywire. So remember all that stress and inflammation caused by the uric acid? Well, that's like a fire alarm that goes off telling the body's immune system to release these things called inflammatory cytokines. This creates a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation that doesn't just stay in the liver. It spreads, damaging tissues and messing up those crucial insulin signals everywhere. And it gets worse.
It turns out that a high-fructose diet can also damage the lining of your intestine, causing what's often called a leaky gut. This basically lets bacterial toxins, or endotoxins, slip out into the bloodstream. And guess where they go first? Yep, straight to the already stressed-out liver, just adding more fuel to that inflammatory fire. So, we've seen the direct hit on the liver, and we've seen the indirect cascade that spreads everywhere else. So, what does all this add up to? Let's take a look at the body-wide aftermath, the cumulative damage from this whole chain reaction.
This table really paints the full picture. The damage isn't just in one place, it's systemic. In the liver, you've got fatty liver disease and insulin resistance. In your heart and blood vessels, you see damage that can increase the risk of plaque formation. The kidneys become inflamed. And get this, even your brain is affected, messing with your appetite signals and causing neuroinflammation. It's a truly system-wide problem.
So, the big takeaway here is this. This isn't just a liver problem. Not at all. It is a true cascade, a chain reaction, where one metabolic breakdown literally causes the next and the next, setting off alarms and creating dysfunction across your entire system. And the researchers who mapped all this out, they put it pretty simply. They said, these adverse effects of high fructose consumption remind us to be cautious about excess fructose intake in our daily diet. I mean, it doesn't get much clearer than that. It's a straightforward warning based on all the complex mechanics we've just walked through. So when you trace it all the way back, from the system-wide inflammation, back to the leaky gut, back to the stressed-out liver, you realize this entire massive chain reaction often begins with a single, simple choice. So the question is, knowing all this now, what will your choice be?